episode of Into the Stratusphere. I'm your girl, Cindy G. Here we are in episode 19. Thank you for coming. Oh my god, you guys. We are one episode away from episode 20, which, wow, it has been an incredible journey. However, episode 20 on the next episode, it's going to be a big recap for a company that I really do admire to cover the news, the results, and overall thoughts, of course, which is New Japan Pro Wrestling. They're having their big weekend ahead Friday with the World Tag League and the Best of Super Junior 27 finale, as well as the following next day, the Super J-Cup 2020. So there's going to be a lot to cover, but hey, I am not alone, you guys. You guys may remember him, as always. He's from NoDQ.com, and he is from the podcast, The Sauce. Say hello to the simple man himself, Noah Foster. Hey, Noah, how's it going?
How are you, Cindy? It's going well. We're coming off AEW Dynamite and a loaded weekend ahead. Good to be back with you.
Indeed. I mean, wow. It is going to be a busy week ahead. Like I said, WWE just had NXT TakeOver War Games, which you guys can check out Philip and Brandon's recap of the show. And of course, this whole situation with Don Callis and Kenny Omega making the Impact Wrestling appearance. And then we have this like big show ahead, like with New Japan Pro Wrestling and Impact Wrestling with their Impact Plus exclusive as well. So it's going to be a loaded week ahead. And of course, WWE is having TLC in 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, which I don't follow up with that company. Y'all know why, but I digress. Anyway, so for today's episode, we're just going to be covering just one wrestling headlines, and then we're going to go into predictions galore and giving our overall thoughts of pretty much how the tournament went, which is the World Tag League and the Best of Super Junior 27. We'll give it our prediction, as well as the bracketology for the Super J Cup, which I know I did the bracketology earlier, but we're actually going to be doing a replay of my picks, and as well as Noah's pick for the Super J Cup. And then the usual recap and thoughts of Impact Wrestling, especially the appearance from Don Callis and the new AEW World Champion Kenny Omega, as well as our thoughts of Kenny Omega's appearance on AEW Dynamite this week, and also the prediction for Impact Wrestling's Final Resolution, y'all. So sit back, because we're going to go ahead and kick things off with the wrestling headline news, just one. So, as you guys know, and this is a very wholesome news. So on Monday, December 7th, that's right, Becky Lynch, the man herself, posted on Instagram that her and Seth Rollins just welcomed their new boy and child into the world. And it's a baby girl named Rogues. Oh my god. News has been broke, and man, it shows just a picture of Seth and Becky's hand, holding baby Rogues' tiny hand. Of course, you can tell it's a girl because of the cute onesie. It's so adorable. And of course, the hashtag and new. So just wanted to congratulate the newly parent Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins for welcoming a healthy baby girl. So this is one of the most wholesome moment in wrestling. And I know a lot of people are being like, are we going to be expecting Becky to come back on WrestleMania? I don't know, y'all. She needs some rest. She need to be a mom. I would say she'll be back on SummerSlam, even though I don't watch the company, but I digress. Noah, your thoughts?
Congratulations to Seth and Becky on the birth of a healthy newborn baby girl into this world. It's something very special when two come together to bring what will carry on their legacy into the next generation. And I hope the same comes out as well for Renee and Moxley, who I know are expecting, and also random out there, Sarah Logan and Will. Congrats to the new baby, though.
That's right. And speaking of which, regarding Renee Paquette and Jon Moxley, so And I just remember, because thanks for reminding me, Noah, because I forgot, because I saw on Renee Paquette's Instagram page not too long ago. So, Renee Paquette posted a picture 4 days ago, which was like last Friday.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're recording it on Wednesday night, by the way. So on last Friday, let's see, December 4th, Renee Paquette posted a Instagram picture of a cake sliced, and it said it's pink. So Renee and John Moxley are expecting a baby girl.
Yep.
So, man, Noah, John Moxley is gonna have quite a handful, especially being a protective but a cool dad.
Well, if he handles his budget as well as his child, I think he'll be just fine.
Exactly. So again, congratulations, Renee Paquette and John Moxley on their of their gender reveal. At least it's like a simple gender reveal cake. Like, let's not like those big extravagant gender reveal party, which I really don't get about this whole gender reveal party situation. It's like, do we have a baby shower, y'all? Like, why do you need a freaking like a first party follow a baby shower? It doesn't even make no sense whatsoever. I don't know. I'm just being a girl, Noah, so.
It's all good. I'm just listening. What do I know?
Exactly. Alrighty, y'all. So enough of this wrestling headline news, even though it's like baby news, which of course, wholesome in the wrestling community. I know Philip and Brian's going to be talking about more wrestling headlines on their end. So make sure to listen to it. I know they're recording their usual recap of episode 101, of course. After episode 201. My bad. Botch. You know me with my botchyism. So episode 201. Anyway, so let's go ahead and move on to the prediction for the finals of the New Japan Pro Wrestling World Tag League and the Best of Super Junior 27, which is going to be taking place this Friday, December 11th, and it's going to be at the Nippon Budokan in Tokyo, Japan. Which, by the way, I'm trying my best to pronounce some of the locations and some of the wrestlers' names, so please bear with us on it, alright, y'all? So, anyway, so overall, if you want to check out, like, past, like, recapping results from each of the tournament, like, based on, like, from, like, past nights, highly suggest you go to my Instagram page, and it will be on the Instagram TV section. Follow me, simply_C_OK. That's SIMPLY_C_OK, where I did like a recap and results, and I really enjoy like doing different segments. So, let me ask you this real quick, Noah. What has been your favorite match out of the tournament, like both Best of Super Junior and the World Tag League?
Okay, well, Best Super Juniors, I gotta give it up to the performers of the tournament, which definitely were Hiromu Takahashi, El Desperado, and Sho. I think my overall favorite match was probably literally Sho versus Hiromu Takahashi, because Sho going into this thing was my lead pick, and then when he lost, I was like, devastated, especially when he picked up the win against Hiromu. Robin Eagles, by the way, honorable mention, but I think for me, Sho vs. Hiromu was definitely my standout for that. Now, the World Tag League was a different story, as I had several teams that, of course, was favored behind, especially, of course, my tag champs, Dangerous Tekkers. I thought them versus GOD was a very fun, interesting match, but seriously, I gotta give it up for Finjuice versus Dangerous Tekkers. I thought that match took the tournament for me and definitely was the biggest win, I feel like, for Finjuice in this entire thing, considering they are last year's winners. So Finjuice versus Dangerous Tekkers and Sho vs. Hiromu were definitely my probably most honorable mentions, if not like my top two matches overall among the entire two tours.
Indeed. I mean, I would say my overall favorite of the tournament would have to be GOD versus Dangerous Tekker. Like, I feel this match was so brutal. It turns into kind of like a impromptu street fight. Especially you expect like, Dangerous Tekker was about to power bomb Tamaga Loa off the stage. But of course, like they did counter and then push him off. So that was a pretty much a heavy hitting match. That's one of my personal favorite. And regarding for the Best of Super Junior, honestly, I'm gonna have to go with Robbie Eagles versus Hamaru Takahashi. That was like a very fun match, especially where Hamaru was actually doing the Aussie remix to Robbie, and it was kind of like a more of a cohesive match, and it's like a show of a best of the sportsmanship too. That and also Taiji Ishimori versus El Desperado. That was a pretty brutal match, like. Because they did explain about, like, heel unit versus heel unit. You never know. They're going to put out a one blown out match that'll be, like, match of the night or, like, a decent match, but more in an aggressive way. So, yeah, y'all. So anyway, so let's go ahead and kick things off with the matches. So there's only 6 matches total of the finals, and this is going to be in order. So the first match that has been announced is representing Chaos, Show, Robbie Eagle, and the 2020 Provisional King of Pro Wrestling trophy holder Toru Yano versus representing Bullet Club, Bala Fale, Chase Owens, and the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, Taiji Ishimori. Noah, who is your pick?
Freaking Yano! Okay, first off, salute the man, Kevin. He's a freaking war hero. This match, I feel like, it's one thing that is yet to be figured out for Wrestle Kingdom, because the store's already going to figure out the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match, and that's who could challenge Toru Yano for KOPW 2020. So just thinking off of that, I'm going to say Bullet Club takes this, with Chase Owens pinning Toru Yano.
I definitely gonna have to agree with you as well. I'm picking Bullet Club because remember, prior to the World Tag League tournament, you saw there was kind of like a 6-man tag match between Bullet Club and Chaos, and we've been seeing like a teaser of like Chase Owens wanting to challenge Yano for the Provisional Trophy. So I feel like this is going to be a perfect setup for Chase and Yano to have this match together, especially the fact that like Yano had his first trophy defense against Zack Sabre Jr. during the Power Struggle Tour in the past. So I feel like it's time for him to just have another challenge against Chase Owens. And we're going to be seeing like what are the speculation would be. I would love to see it, yes, agree in Wrestle Kingdom, but what kind of speculation? But that's going to be pretty interesting, don't you think? Maybe we'll see kind of like a submissions match or a no-holds bars match. Anything can go.
Especially with Toru Yano's creative mind. I mean, no turnbuckle pad was the last match. I can only imagine how top this one.
Exactly. Alrighty. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next match. So you have is another 6-man tag team match. What you have is Empire versus Hanara Ace and Kazuchika Okada. For me, my easiest pick. Well, I think it's going to be kind of like a storyline in the making because of the matchup between Okada and Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom. And I think this is like a perfect setup for the storyline together. I'm actually going to go with Hanara Ace and Okada just because. Go ahead, Noah. Your pick.
Empire, you know this is building towards Ospreay versus Okada. Ospreay's been out this long time. He's been getting into battle with Okada through his boys. And right now, Hanara's damaged goods. Unfortunately, Tanahashi right now, his leg is just beyond banged up. Mm-hmm. We're wondering how he's even going to be involved in Wrestle Kingdom. I don't see him being built off this match. I got to go with the Empire.
Yeah, I could see that happening, but it could go either way. I hope Tanahashi is ready to go, especially, like, with that brutal injury he had, like, during the World Tag League tournament. Like, Jesus. I must say, I'm impressed with Jeff Cobb's performance, especially being part of Empire. He actually fit very well for it to despite the fact that the leader is a piece of crap, just saying. But I feel like, he's definitely carried on to this whole unit. And as I said it in, like, the past recap on the Instagram TV, like, Jeff Cobb is finally in a unit where he is belongs, especially, like, with his athleticism, his in-ring work, his personality, and how he is carrying, as a performer, too. So I'm glad that, like, he is part of a stable in New Japan. Especially, he does work pretty well with Great Okan, too, and he did a really impressive job in the World Tag League tournament.
Yeah, they had a pretty good score.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's go ahead and move on to the next match after the bathroom break for personal use. you have is, of course, a tag team match between representing Bullet Club, Evil, and Yujiro Takahashi versus representing LIJ, Sonata, and the current never openweight champion, Shingo Takagi. Control C, Control V. Yeah. The reason why this is a freaking rematch we've seen in the past. Not just for the World Tag League, but overall, ever since Evil went heel and joined Bullet Club, and of course the rivalry with Evil and the rest of the LIJ member. Like, honestly, I feel that like we're kind of getting a little bit fed up with this whole like Evil and LIJ. I mean, we get it. He had a feud with Naito and he won and then he lost and like what else is more, you know? Noah, who are your pick?
Okay, I figured about the idea of Evil versus Nada, single division for Wrestle Kingdom. Could that be built off this match if the duo in Bullet Club get the win? Yujiro being a former neverweight champion, he could challenge Shingo, but he gets the win here. But I am not going against Shingo and Sonata. I feel like they need the win more, especially since Shingo already feels like he's got his challenger ahead. And Sonata's just had a rough year. He needs to garner some sort of momentum heading into Wrestle Kingdom to build anything for him. So hopefully for me, it's LIJ for the win.
I'm going with that LIJ as well. And then pretty much when they win, then it will be kind of like a setup for like another feud in the making, maybe a 101 feud. Because I know Shingo Takagi is actually going to be focusing on is defending the never openweight title. And then as a teaser, it'll be against Jeff Cobb, since y'all saw it on the World Tag League Night 16 this past Sunday, December 6th. Once Empire defeated LIJ, which saddens me because they were out of the tournament. But I digress.
I mean, he won 2 title matches, so.
Yeah, and you saw Jeff Cobb hold the never openweight title, so that's where Shingo Takagi is going to be focusing more. But maybe it'll be like, you know, once and for all for Sonata and Evil. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next match. So for your next match, it's going to be a tag team match between representing LIJ, your current IWGP Heavyweight, and the IWGP Intercontinental Champion Tetsuya Naito alongside Bushi versus a team of Kota Ibushi and Master Wato with Hiroyoshi Tanzan. So this is going to be a pretty fun match, especially, again, more storyline between Ibushi and Naito leading up to Wrestle Kingdom. And I know for a fact that Master Wato did an impressive job during the whole, like, Best of Super Junior 27 tournament. He actually stepped up, even if there has been, like, a little bit of a criticism through social media regarding his in-ring performance. But, you know, who else to be judged, you know? But he actually did a pretty impressive job, too. So for my pick of this, I'm actually going to go with Ibushi and Wato for the win. What about you, Noah?
First off, Master Wato, an incredible run in his debut in Best of Super Juniors, being the block leader for a little while, only for that to be shot by show. And despite his in-ring style, maybe he does bring more than other junior heavyweights, but I like it. Now, as far as this match goes, this is building the big one, and God help Kota Ibushi's neck. But I look at Bushi, guy just can't catch a break. It seems had a rough run. I'm really behind Master Wato, and I want to see Kota go in with some momentum before Road to Tokyo Dome even. My pick is Kota and Master Wato.
Awesome. Yeah, so we're going to be seeing how it's going to play out, especially Master Wato's performance, too. Alrighty, so let's go and move on to the co-main event. That's right, the finale. Starting off with the World Tag League finale. So you have is Finjuice versus God. That's right. And this is going to be a pretty interesting match in the making. You have God in the finals. Will they win will they finally win the World Tag League 2020? Or if Finjuice going to win 2 years in a row? Noah, your thoughts on who do you got?
Jeez. I mean, this match is nearly over a year in the making when you consider it was God vs. Finjuice at Wrestle Kingdom, where Finjuice took the towels off of them. 2 things God have been unable to achieve: win at Wrestle Kingdom, win the World Tag League. Is this finally their moment, even with all the sneak attack and Master Jado in their corner? And I would love to see Dangerous Techers, because obviously they're going to face Dangerous Techers whoever wins this. We've already seen history made once here, and as much as it pains me to say it, I feel like it's going to happen again. There's just something about this and Wrestle Kingdom that goes against God. I'm picking reluctantly Finjuice.
Yeah, Noah, I'm actually kind of like in defense of it too because like at first I was even happy that like Lij lost and didn't go to the finals, but then I'm like thinking realistically. Okay, so the winner can get to face the current IWGP Tag Team Champion, which is of course Zack Sabre Jr. and Taiji. Thinking about their matches at the World Tag League, I don't mind either or team to win, especially if it's God versus Dangerous Tekker. We're gonna be seeing another brutal match, just like in the World Tag League, or even
yeah.
Finjuice versus Dangerous Tech. It could be either one of the possibility too. As much as I admire Bullet Club, I'm actually gonna go with Finjuice to win the World Tag League 2020 2 years in a row, you guys. And of course, they're definitely going to be facing Dangerous Tekker at Wrestle Kingdom. I don't mind it at all. But if it's God versus Dangerous Tekker, hey, it's all good because, like I said, I'm going to be so excited for their match, just like in the World Tag League. If it's going to be so even a little bit more brutal and ruthless, just like their matchup at the tournament. But you could go either way.
Yeah, for all we know, we might luck out, might get both. 2-night Wrestle Kingdom. Can they surprise us with that? Only time will tell. But again, this match, you can flip a coin in how this match could go because these two know each other so well. I can't wait for this.
Me too. And with that being said, let's go ahead and go to the main event of the match, which is going to be the finals of the Best of Super Junior 27. You have is Hamaru Takahashi versus El Desperado. Now, okay, I was hoping Sho's going to be the one that's going to be in the finals, but he got robbed. As I stated on the recap and results for the Best of Super Junior 27 on my Instagram TV, but hey, it is what it is. So we're going to be seeing Hamaru and El Desperado again. And as you guys know, Hamaru do carry that big-ass book of strategy guide, and he said it about El Desperado. El Desperado, I don't hate you. Shout out to New Japan Pro Wrestling English commentator Chris Charlton, who actually translated the strategy guide on his Twitter page, which thank goodness. So yeah, I wonder what he's gonna wrote on his strategy guide for El Desperado. If he's gonna put El Desperado, I now hate you or something. I don't know. But you know, as y'all know, in the Best of Super Junior 27, El Desperado did actually beat Hamaru, you know, so it can go either way. And like I said, the winner gets to face the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, Taiji Ishimori. Honestly, I really don't want to see Hamaru win the Best of Super Junior. And especially, I really don't want to see, of course, Control C, Control V, a rematch. That match we've seen already between him and Taiji Ishimori. It's like, it's going to be like a freaking rubber match all over again with the title. We've seen it before, like when Hamaru was a champ, and then Taiji Ishimori actually defeated Hamaru a couple months ago, before the G1 tournament. So, for my pick of this, because, first of all, I don't know when Yoshimaro Kamaru is going to be out for. At least it's not a very serious knee injury, unlike Yo, who suffered a torn ACL, which is going to be out for the rest of the year. And I think it'll be fine something to do for him, especially being a 2-belt. So I'm going to go with El Desperado to win the Best of Super Junior tournament, too. I think it's going to be something different along the line, especially like when you listen to, as I stated on the Bulletcast 200 episode, I say that Suzuki-gun has been the MVP of the stable in New Japan Pro Wrestling because like how well each of the contender actually put up, especially winning titles, except for Doki. But Doki has been putting very incredible matches, like when he was in the when he was having a match against Chaos for the Never Six-Man Tag match, especially his face-off with Yoshihashi and everything. So I feel this is going to be El Desperado's time to win the tournament and then facing Taiji Ishimori. And like I said, that match at Best of Super Junior is one of my favorite of it. Noah, who do you got?
I agree with you, and that was one of my favorite matches too. And you know I'm Suzuki. That's my faction. Casa freaking Nina Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my guys. They're gonna own Wrestle Kingdom. And with a year of unprecedented upsets and surprise we've already seen, it would not surprise me one bit that El Desperado wins this match and goes on to beat Taishimori. So El Desperado has been my pick for the best Super Junior since Show got eliminated, and I'm not changing. El Despe for the win.
Hell yeah. I mean, regardless, like, you'll have, like, one babyface that's gonna win the World Tag League, and then you'll have a heel that's gonna win the Best of Super Junior. So it can go either way, you guys. So, I mean, this is gonna be, like, a big game changer in the making, too. Especially for Altus Sprout, that's gonna be his first ever Best of Super Junior, win.
That's right.
In history. So why not have a fresh new face in the making, and then we'll see how it turns out, too. So... anyway, you guys, with that being said, that is it for the predictions for the finals of the World Tag League and the Best of Super Junior 27. Now we're going to go for the next day. Saturday, December 12th. New Japan Pro Wrestling USA is going to be putting on the Super J Cup. That's right. Which, of course, the Super J Cup has a very special place in my heart because... last year, the tournament, night 2, was held at San Francisco State, and yours truly was actually in attendance.
Okay.
Thank you. And yeah, so I'm very excited for they brought back the Super J Cup, you know, especially the following participant as well. So I'm very excited all together and to see what's the possibility. So we're going to be breaking down the bracketology, even though I did do the earlier bracketology, but I'm going to be seeing it again, and plus Noah's here too. So, for the round 1 of the Super J Cup 2020, for the first match in order, you have, it's representing the LA Dojo, your 2020 Lions Break Crown winner, Clark Connors, versus Impact Wrestling star, the Finesse himself, Chris Bay. And I'm going to have Noah to start off first, so who do you got?
Okay, well, Chris Bay, he's already got enough on his plate facing Rich Swann for the Impact World Championship that we'll talk about a little later at Final Resolution. And again, these two, this is their first time ever one-on-one encounter. Clark Connors right now, the captain, leading the dojo, winning the Lions collision tournament, like you said. Just off that momentum alone, I see bigger things moving him forward like Carl Fredericks did. I'm going to go at Clark Connors.
Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit different, Noah. I'm actually going to go with the Finesse himself, Chris Bay, because even though Clark Connors did have one hell of a year, like, for New Japan Pro Wrestling America, especially with the showcasing from New Japan Strong, like winning the tournament, teaming up with the DKC, everything. But I feel like with Chris Bay, I think he's gonna show what he can bring to the table, especially with his interview with Kevin Kelly not too long ago. Like, he wanted to showcase like who is the Finesse himself. So I'm going with Chris Bay to win the round 1. And so, next up, you have is, of course, ACH versus Impact Wrestling star, TJP. Easy pick for me. I mean, they faced off in the past. I feel he's definitely going to go to the next round since this is going to be also his first ever Super J Cup tournament. I'm going with ACH. Noah, who you got?
Well, they're tag team members that faced off on freaking NJPW Strong, and TJP being a freelancer, he's already had some rough runs in Impact Wrestling. I want to actually see him get some momentum like he did last year, and this was kind of the setup for my first part here, so I'm going to stick with my roots. I'm actually going with TJP.
Oh, okay. So we both have opposite pick. Interesting. Alrighty. Now, next up, you have is, for the round 1 continue on, from Ring of Honor, Ray Horace versus representing GCW, and he is active member of the New Japan Pro Wrestling US of A, Blake Christian. Who do you got, Noah?
You know I'm all about Blake Christian. I love the man's heart. I love the man's hybrid style in the ring. No offense to the veteran from Ring of Honor, but I want to see the younger up-and-comer get over the experienced one, Blake Christian.
I'm going to have to go with Blake Christian as well, even though we haven't seen Ray Horace in a while, like with Ring of Honor. You guys remember him on Lucha Underground at El Dragon Azteca, and also a past like appearance he made too. But I think this is going to be a pretty much an interesting match. It can go either way, but again, I'm going to go with Blake Christian. He had a very impressive year, especially during his time in New Japan Strong, like starting with the Lions Break Collision, and then, of course, his showcase match at the Lions Break Crown Tournament. So I feel that definitely he will definitely outshine more, and he'll move on to the next round. And alrighty, so the last of the round one of the tournament you have is former WWE superstar, the man of the hour, Lio Rush, versus the returning, representing Bullet Club, El Fantasmo. Okay, Lio Rush. He's been putting a really incredible cinematography promo of the Super Jacob. Like, wow. So he went all out just to indicate that he's very honored to be in a tournament. Especially the fact that, like, he say his main goal he wanted to be is getting signed to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Especially prior to going to WWE, but now he's finally got a chance too. With El Fantasma, this is gonna be the first time we're gonna be seeing him in action since pandemic hit. Of course, he was stuck in his home country of Canada, but now he's coming here in America to compete. Of course, because of the travel restriction for Canada and United States, and not taking it at ease. So honestly, I'm gonna go with El Fantasma to win the match. What about you, Noah?
This match in most tournament because I love Lio Rush's heart. He wants this so dang badly, but how do you go against the guy that freaking won it last year and hasn't had a match yet this entire year due to the pandemic? Begrudgingly, I gotta agree with you, but I hope this match is a breakout moment for him and he gets signed. But I gotta go with VLP advancing.
Awesome. Alrighty, so we're gonna go to round two. So I got ACH versus Chris Bay, and Noah, you got Clark Connors versus TJP.
Yes.
Okay, for my Chris Bay versus ACH, it's probably gonna be the match of the night because both guys are gonna put a really great clinic. I'm going with ACH to the finals. Noah, who you got?
TJP. I feel like Clark Connors, again, he's out to prove a lot here, but TJP, he's been in this spot before. He knows how to overcome it. It's going to be a hard-fought match, but I'm not going against TJP right now. I have TJP in my finals.
Okay. And then we both agree on Blake Christian versus El Fantasmo. So, Noah, who do you got?
Again, it's hard to go against a guy that literally would do anything to win and won it last year. ELP.
Awesome. And for me, I feel this is going to be kind of like a test of strength for Blake Christian, especially facing up against like one of the ruthless veteran, especially part of Bullet Club too, that he has to deal with because, he had to deal with Hikuleo, G.O.D., and, Jay White and Kenta, throughout the whole New Japan Strong when he was part of a tag team match and whatnot. So I think this is going to be his real test for himself. But again, my pick is going to go with El Fantasma to the finals. And now we're going to take a quick break. We have is a tag team match, Noah. So we have is representing Bullet Club, Hikuleo, and the current IWGP United States contract holder, Kenta, will be taking on the Alpha himself, Carl Frederick, and representing the New Japan Dojo, who is now on an excursion for the LA Dojo, the returning Ren Narita. We're going to be seeing Ren Narita for the first time since the whole pandemic hit, because, he is currently in an excursion with LA Dojo, but we haven't seen him make the appearance until now. Yep. Noah, who you got?
I'm going to be most surprised what Ren Narita brings to the table, but how do you go against Kenta and Hikuleo? I mean, Carl Frederick's got a lot of aspirations, still finding his place now, breaking out beyond the LA Dojo. So he's going to lead by example. But Kenta, GTS, enough said, I'm Bullet Club.
I'm very curious how Ren Narita's gonna showcase, because especially the fact, you saw the different styles of the New Japan Young Lions and the LA Dojo Young Lions, with the different style, even though they have similar in-ring style, what they talk, but in a different state, since of course, especially how they're carried too. So I'm very curious what Ren Narita is gonna be taught, during his time with the LA Dojo, Oh, and as a disclaimer, you guys, Shibata is back in America, of course, because of the whole Japan-United States travel restriction, as I mentioned. So he's now back in the LA Dojo for the time being, because he did the meet and greet, a couple weeks ago the virtual meet and greet, and he had like Alex Coughlin and Clark Connors on his side. But yeah, so for my pick, I'm gonna go with Bullet Club, of course, especially with Kenta too. You know he's gonna cut a promo and say, "Where the hell is Jon Moxley?" And hell, we haven't seen Jon Moxley on a recent episode of AEW Dynamite since he lost the title to Kenny Omega.
Ooh, we haven't.
Yeah, so this is gonna be like pretty much a curiosity in the making, you know? But who knows? Anyway, so we're heading on to the finals. Noah, you got TJP versus El Phantasmo, and I got El Phantasmo versus ACH. Who are your pick for the finals?
I want TJP to really make a mark in New Japan Pro Wrestling. But again, it's a year of upsets, it's a year of surprises, but it's a year of history. I have ELP as a 2-time winner. ELP is my pick.
Noah, I'm going to go agree with you as well. As much as like ACH worked his butt off, especially how he's been going through so much, especially how he has his new look, his new attitude, and he put a very incredible match in past New Japan Strongs episode. You know, I don't see him winning. I'm going to go with ELP to be 2 times. And I'm curious to know, like the winner will get a trophy, but is he gonna get like a title opportunity, or probably he's gonna be challenged, or we're gonna be seeing like another title in the US? So it's like so much to think about, you know, because like of the travel restriction due to the pandemic. I know New Japan Pro Wrestling USA is like still like in full fruition. I wonder what the current CEO, of course, for both New Japan and New Japan America, Takumi Obari, will bring to the table. It's something, either or.
As the roster, I could definitely see another title being part of the U.S. brand. Otherwise, he just would be long-term planning to challenge whoever comes out of Wrestle Kingdom, I guess, as champion.
Yeah,
but I could definitely see something for the U.S. brand.
Exactly. You know, I mean, like we have is like who's going to be winning the Best of Super Junior 27 finals, facing Taiji Mori for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight. Something, you know? But we'll see. Anyway, y'all, so that is it for the prediction for the Super J Cup. So we're shying away from New Japan Pro Wrestling. And yes, like I said, episode 20 is going to be all New Japan Pro Wrestling results and recap for both shows. So stay tuned. It's probably going to be up this weekend by the time of the recording of the podcast, or on a Monday, y'all. So anyway, let's go ahead and kick things off with, of course, the biggest episode ever. Impact Wrestling took place on Tuesday, December 8th, of course. And by the way, I did watch on Twitch, no Melissa Santos, because you know why? They've been showing a lot of highlights of past Impact Wrestling matches, like Gail Kim versus Awesome Kong at Final Resolution 2007. I don't know, because my TV kind of like block off the last number of the year. What else? AJ Styles versus Kurt Angle, where he won the TNA World Heavyweight Championship match, to the whole Aces and Eights BS, and etc. Y'all. And also the Scott Steiner mathematics, of course.
Right.
So, yeah. Did you watch it on Twitch, Noah?
I did. I was just laughing my butt off during those moments, especially the Scott Steiner math promo. As if I need to be reminded how you get to 130 and 3/4% chance of winning a match. Good.
Yeah. So pretty much, it is understandable because, like, you know, a lot of people has been tuning in on Twitch, especially the episode, and plus, it was trending #1 worldwide on Twitter. Impact Wrestling, so that was huge, and especially seeing people talk about Impact Wrestling, that kind of warms my heart so much too. So anyway, we're definitely gonna go with our recap and the results per usual, since I am the only one covering Impact Wrestling out of the Bullet Cast, y'all. So, and it's been an honor, of course. So, and by the way, this is the go home edition before their Impact Plus exclusive show, Final Resolution. So, to kick things off, of course, you have the promo of the AEW World Championship match from last week, Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley, where Kenny Omega defeated Jon Moxley. And of course, the usual, him and Don Callis rushing to the car. And of course, you saw the infamous announcement from Don Callis that they'll show up on Impact Wrestling. So they did show the video footage of the tour bus pulling up to the Impact Wrestling home, Skyway Studio in Nashville, Tennessee. That's been their hub throughout the whole pandemic.
Yep.
Which is interesting. However, let's go ahead and kick things off, So, yeah, it's the opening of the match. So you have is Josh Alexander with Ethan Page versus Chris Sabian with Alex Shelley. It is a pretty good match, to say at least. And you can tell there has been a tension brewing between Josh and Ethan Page, because when they did their entrance, you saw Ethan Page stone-faced and, unhappy. I was like, what he is so upset about? Because I know that he got his ass kicked by, of course, Swoggle dressing up as AJ Styles, and then Josh Alexander was like, reluctantly, he's the one that issued a challenge against Carl Anderson at Final Resolution, so what is his problem, But, oh well. Anyway, it is a pretty good back and forth going on. Chris Sabian with the Tope Suicida, and then he did a crossbody for a 2 count to Josh Alexander. Josh did counter Chris Sabian's Hurricane Rana with an impressive powerbomb for a 2 count. Until Ethan Page, you saw him calling it to Josh Alexander, he was, with Ethan Page, he was being hostile to him when he's like, do something, hurry up, which he trying to, tell Josh to hurry the F up or something, which he didn't cuss, by the way, to do the next move, but of course, Chris Sabian took the advantage to do the jackknife roll-up, and thus, Chris Sabian did pick up the victory. So, Noah, what are your thoughts of this?
Ethan Page is barely holding his sanity together. His ego is taking over his common sense mentality, and because of that, it cost his partner the win. He felt like he had the right plan going into the match to help him get the win, and it didn't work. Awesome match, great aggressive affair. Josh Alexander always impresses me in both tag and singles. The win doesn't surprise me because, again, Ethan Page is falling apart at the seams.
Exactly. And it's the fact that you saw there has been more tensions, more rift, especially Ethan Page, he has to be ready for his match against Carl Anderson at Final Resolution. We're gonna be seeing a breakup of the North at Final Resolution. Because it looks like it's bound to happen. Because look, the North is not fine, y'all. I'm just saying. Alright. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the backstage segment. So you have is Chris Bay and Moose as, of course, Chris Bay waiting for Moose's strategy, what's going on. But Moose, he's only focused on is showing his fist. He'd rather hurt someone, especially the fact that, they're in a tag team match for the main event against Willie Mack and Rich Swann. And so the only thing Moose is focusing on is just the, who wanted to hurt. Especially Chris Bay was focusing on his title match at Final Resolution. But, Noah, your thoughts?
Moose has only one thing on mind. That's pain. He doesn't care about anything else. They wanted to talk strategy with him. He wasn't having none of it. Moose is focused on one thing, and that is himself and causing his form of pain.
Exactly. So we'll see it along the line when we're going to talk about the main event match. Anyway, so we're going to cut to commercial, which is, of course, Rich Swann promoting Hard to Kill, which I like that commercial. However, after the commercial, we have a surprise commercial. None other than Tony Schiavone and the president of AEW, Tony Khan. As Tony Khan did an impressive job promoting AEW Dynamite and the shows that's coming up and the match lined up. He did a pretty good job, especially how he is pretty enthusiastic he is too, even though a lot of people are giving him crap about his appearance and his delivery, but he actually did an impressive job. I think this is the first time ever we've seen Tony Khan ever on TV, besides him being backstage and whatnot. And being the Elite does not count. Just want to let y'all know because that's YouTube. So, yeah. Anyway, your thoughts on it?
Passive aggressive, just way to introduce himself to Impact Wrestling. A bunch of teasers things to come and great publicity and promotion for AEW. Also welcoming Don Callis back. It seemed pretty fun to me. And again, it was paid advertising.
Of course. TV filter just to tell everyone, hey, tune into AEW Dynamite. We have an awesome match. We have MJF versus Orange Cassidy for the Dynamite Diamond Ring match, or
Oh, yeah,
Abaddon in
it was
action.
yeah.
Yeah. Or like we have freaking like Young Bucks versus TH2.
I know they got tag teams here. I have some investments in that, but who knows? I might buy Impact Wrestling. And Tony, you had a 9 Impact. I did. And I quit the business for 18 years. That was funny.
Oh, it is hilarious.
Passive, aggressive advertising. Simple as that.
Exactly. All right, so after the commercial break, you have is a match: Brian Myers versus TJP. So they have a continuing feud in the making. It was a pretty much a decent match, and a couple counters, couple strikes. Yeah, TJP with the tornado DDT as like both guys are down, and then of course TJP did his modified Three Amigos, which is nice just to honor Eddie Guerrero. And then he did the Mamba Slam, but Brian Myers did counter with a flatliner for a 2 count. And then TJP actually did apply the second Mamba Slam for a 2 count until, of course, Brian Myers did pick up the victory with his usual finisher. Your thoughts on this match, Noah?
If it wasn't for the ref getting in the way to use to literally break up that submission, I think it would have been a different result. Kind of surprised that Brian Myers got the better of TJP. TJP can get out of the blocks. He needs to do what Scott D'Amore says, maybe change your identity, especially after what happened following this. Decent match, to say the least, though. And Brian Myers, I give him credit. He figured out a way to win.
Agree. And I definitely agree. I mean, I think this may be kind of like the end of their feud, or their continuing feud. It could go either way, but it may happen. And then after that, you have his backstage segment, which you have is the Deaners as Cody Deaner's preparing for his match against Eric Young, which he told Jake Deaner, like, this is not about us, this is about me, and he wanted to take this personal because of his past experience with Eric Young. And Jake actually convinced him, like, Eric Young has Joe Dury on his court. He needs to be on his court just in case if there's anything that's going to be concluded, So Cody Deaner comes in, yeah, come in, but don't get involved too. So it's like more of a personal battle that Cody Deaner has. And I think this is like one of the aggressive that we haven't seen him in a long time, too. Instead of like the usual, like, cowboy, like, not cowboy, but like the like country hick gimmick they have. Your thoughts, Noah?
It was the most authentic, aggressive, realistic, and emotional I think I've ever seen out of that guy. I was really into his drive and his promo. Respect.
I definitely agree. And we're going to talk about the match in just a moment, too. Anyway, so you have a backstage segment with Rohit Raju giving hard time to TJP since he lost to Brian Myers. And he said, like, 2020 is not his year, it's Rohit's year. I was like, great! More worst part about 2020. Rohit Raju being the X Division champion. Anyway, and so Rohit Raju is definitely going to be doing his last of the defeat Rohit of 2020. And so TJP did call him out, but he said, good luck. So something is going to be pretty interesting happening at Final Resolution, because I have a feeling TJP may be bringing someone to challenge Raju. But I don't know. Your thoughts on it?
Unless he literally goes back to what he used to be, and I hope it's not that. I hope he's bringing somebody, but it almost sounds like at this point, he's gone for everybody. Time for a change. I think something major is about to go down Saturday.
Yeah, which we're going to talk about it when we're going to get to the predictions for Final Resolutions, y'all. Alrighty. So anyway, so you have, of course, the match we're talking about right now. Eric Young with Joe Dury versus Cody Deaner with cousin Jake Deaner. This is pretty much Cody Deaner's best match we haven't seen in a long time, And it was pretty much a brutal match in the making, too. Like, I know EY did the Death Valley Driver for a 2 count. Cody Deaner did the crossbody. A couple exchanges back and forth, like a couple of pinfalls and near falls. Until at the end, Eric Young did the spike power driver to pick up the victory, y'all. Your thoughts on this match, Noah?
Major respect to his effort, but again, the most effective pile driver in the business. Eric Young gets it done.
Exactly. And right after the match, you saw EY and Joe Dury did attack Cody until Jake Deaner got involved and Joe actually attacked him. And once when EY and Joe Dury were about to do the power driver in stereo, music hit, out comes Rhino, carry a lead pipe. As both EY and Joe Dury did got out of the ring as Rhino did came into the ring. So you could tell that like there is a feud in the making. And it looks like it's a match that's going to be taking place at Final Resolution, Eric Young versus Rhino, which is going to be pretty far out impressive, but we'll talk about it when we get to the predictions. Anyway, you have a backstage segment of Tommy Dreamer and Johnny Bravo as Bravo pleaded Dreamer to have Larry D arrested. And so Tommy Dreamer did reassure to Johnny Bravo he'll take care of it, and then he confronted Larry D. But Larry D did say he wasn't the one that actually shot Bravo. But of course, he wanted to issue a challenge since Tommy Dreamer loves to call matches. So he say at Final Resolution, a match between him and Tommy Dreamer. If he wins, he'll walk away as a free man. If he lose, then he'll go to jail, which Tommy Dreamer accepted because he'll do whatever he wants. Your thoughts on it?
Last night, Tommy Dreamer isn't a real cop, but I'll let that settle with something else. Entertaining, to say the least. It sets up another match, and again, maybe Lawrence D will show up, actually, at the pay-per-view. But again, I'm ready for this Wrestle House epilogue to end. But okay, match time.
Same, and you could tell on the next part, Scott D'Amore was very adamant about Tommy Dreamer's calling each of the matches. How he is frustrated, but at the same time, the only thing he's focusing on is the whole Don Callis and Kenny Omega showing up to Impact Wrestling. That's the only thing he focused on too. And so he is pretty optimistic about what's going to happen with that, but at the same time, he's kind of sick and tired of Tommy Dreamer calling the, making matches, because he really don't like people making matches altogether. Don't you agree, Noah?
Yeah, pretty much. Scott D'Amore is more focused on bigger things, but also Dreamer, he's looking at the past, the biz versus the future, so I can understand where he's coming from too. But at the end of the day, Scott D'Amore, he's the guy that made the matches. Tommy Dreamer, you're here to keep that locker room in line and cool them down. You're not a matchmaker. Stop it.
Exactly. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next part, which is the last of the round one of the Knockouts Tag Team Tournament, which you have is Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly versus the team of Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary. And surprisingly enough, Noah, there was no storyline. We thought we were going to be seeing some shenanigans going on, no Johnny Bravo in Taya and Rosemary's corner. Father James Mitchell did not show up. It was just your standard match. Holy crap. With a clean finish. Let's just say that. So both teams had a pretty impressive match, especially there was a couple of submission and defenses and couple counters. Kimberly did the Lotus Lock to Taya Valkyrie until Taya counter with a stomp. Deonna and Kimberly both did a double team suplex to Taya Valkyrie. And of course, Taya and Kimberly did both actually couple chops until they both strike each other down. Deonna and Kimberly did the jumping net breaker to Rosemary for a 2 count. Rosemary did assist Taya with a double clothesline to Kimberly and Deonna, and of course Taya and Kimberly actually did a split strike together. That was pretty impressive for both ladies. I haven't seen Taya doing a split in a long time since her time in Lucha Underground and AAA Wrestling. It's been a while though. And so at the end, Rosemary did her finisher, the face buster to Kimberly, and thus Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary pick up the victory, and they're actually going to be heading to the semifinals, the next round of the Knockouts Tag Team Tournament, which they're going to be facing against Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steele. Yeah, this is pretty much a solid match, clean finish. I was loving it. Your thoughts?
I loved it too. Again, the knockouts. They take the show, they control Impact for me. Absolutely great match. Glad to see there was no tomfoolery or chicanery. All four of these women brought what brought them to the table to begin with. I thought the exchange with Kimberly and Tyler was very interesting, both doing the dual split, still finding each other. Rosemary and Deanna set up something we'll talk about later. But again, Deanna's still a little bit perplexed by this whole idea of paranormal, beyond human type competitors and got into her head in the beginning. But once she got over that, she brought her style of the ring. Really great match there for all four. Congrats to Ty and Rosemary advancing. I saw them advancing. I just didn't see it being a pure, clean match. Probably my favorite match of the night.
Definitely too. Like you thought that Deanna is gonna have like a same situation with the whole Sue Young when she was like facing Rosemary. But it was kind of like, Rosemary's aligned with Taya Valkyrie. She has nothing to do with Father James Mitchell in the first place. Even though she's the one that summons him for the quote unquote wedding.
Really?
And especially at the court where he was on Rosemary's side about like, the ritual situation or something. But yeah, it's weird. Anyway, so let's go and move on backstage segment. So you have Alicia Edwards pacing back and forth what's going on until Tennille Dashwood and Kayla with the K as they trying to help Alicia Edwards just to be a better influencer, what their game plan is. But Tennille was pretty adamant to Alicia, but Alicia was like, where are you guys been? The only thing she's focusing on is Sami Callihan was attacking Eddie Edwards like 2 weeks ago, and Tennille was actually told her to calm down, just focus on them, not her situation. But Alicia, she had enough of it, and, and that's where Tennille and Caleb with the K say, you know what, you're out of the team and stuff. And of course, Alicia was like, fine. And then, of course, we'll get you, stuff like that. So, yeah, this is interesting. This is an interesting turn to the event. You thought Alicia's the one that's going to be part of Tennille and Kayla with K, but now she's like more focused on is her husband and the whole Sami Callihan situation. This is pretty interesting, Noah, don't you think?
Yeah, considering you figure that Alicia thought Tennille wanted to be more like her, and then you wonder who would be the bigger ego in this potential trio. Well, so much for that idea, because at the end of the day, Alicia cares more so about the well-being of her husband and getting revenge.
Exactly, which we're going to talk about it later on. So, anyway, so, of course, back to the whole Deanna and Kimberly situation. So, Deanna and Kimberly ran into Scott D'Amore as they actually confronted him, and Scott doesn't really care about the whole situation with the whole Sue Young, the Knockouts titles, the tournament, all that, but he wanted her to focus on being the Knockouts champion. However, he actually made a match for Deonna Purrazzo to defend her title at Final Resolution against Rosemary. You could tell they were not having it, even though Ty and Rosemary did defeated them. Then now it's going to be Rosemary versus Deonna. It's going to be pretty interesting. Your thoughts?
Hey, Scott D'Amore, he gets what the workers want. You want to show why you are the Knockouts champion. You want competition. You want to focus. You want me to give you a fixture situation. Here you go. Now prove to us why you're the best and prove to us why you hold this, why you are this, by being Rosemary.
Exactly. Which we'll get into the Final Resolution prediction in a bit. Anyway, it's an in-ring segment with, of course, the draw himself, Sami Callihan, which, thank goodness, he made the appearance because, he is called the draw, and a lot of people are, like, tuning into Impact Wrestling. So, of course, the draw himself cut an in-ring promo about how much he hurt Eddie Edwards, and he showed past clips of, actually, his first counter with Eddie Edwards when Sammy used to be part of OVE. So, oh, yeah. And, by the way, he actually did pay a tribute to Alex Trebek, by the way.
Love that.
Yeah. Which is pretty cool. It's like, the process, I don't know what the quote he said about when he did a tribute to Alex Trebek, but you could definitely kind of like touch base on it, Noah.
Yeah, it's basically just more about himself and how he is the draw and how he is Impact Wrestling. And Impact Wrestling more so needs him more than he needs them. That's basically what it came down to.
Definitely. And as soon as he was about to show the second clip, which is probably the one where he actually recently attacked Eddie Edwards, out comes Alicia Edwards as she cut a promo, and Sami Callihan is saying he doesn't want to deal with her, and he's like, the last time you did confront someone, you almost got pile drive by Eric Young, and Alicia did cut a promo. She said, I don't care if I break my neck. And she says she doesn't come alone. And lo and behold, behind Sami Callihan is Eddie Edwards. Attack him and strike him with the bat, of course. And Sami Callihan got out of the ring, and Eddie Edwards and Alicia Edwards stand strong in the ring. That was a pretty good. Which I knew Eddie Edwards made a comeback. I'm not too surprised about it. And then afterwards, like backstage, like, Eddie Edwards felt so happy that he is back and alive ever. And Alicia say, like, you agree that, I take care of your problems. Now you gotta take care of my problems. Your thoughts?
I'm kind of surprised it's not Sammy versus Eddie and Alicia versus Tennille. I'll take this. It should be an interesting mixed tag team match with Tennille and Caleb with the K versus Alicia and Edwards, the husband and wife couple. I was like, what's her problem? Oh, that's the problem. And we all know that Eddie Edwards was going to come back sooner than later because the man is pretty crazy. I saw this coming in a stint and I enjoyed it. And now I look forward to Eddie versus Sammy 3, whenever that's coming to be.
Agree. And it looks like with Alicia Edwards, she's now going to be managing Eddie Edwards for now on, which I think this is like a right fit too. Because, Alicia Edwards has been lost in a shuffle lately, like, with the whole Russell House, and then you thought she'll be teaming with Tennille and Caleb with the K. And now it looks like she's going to be devoted on is just being in Eddie Edwards' corner, which I think that'll be a perfectly good fit. And especially the fact that like, the match has been announced on Impact Wrestling's Twitter page, of course. The Edwards is going to be facing Tennille Dashwood and Caleb. ... with the K, which they forgot to put with the K on the graphic, and I actually quoted Caleb, and he actually quoted you saying no respect. Yeah, it was funny. So, hey, Impact, make sure you gotta put with the K, okay? Okay. Anyway, y'all. So, with that being said, we're now in the main event match, which is Chris Bay and Moose versus Willie Mack and the current Impact World Champion, Rich Swann. It was a pretty solid match. A lot of pinfalls and near falls, a lot of counters. Moose being the aggressive SOB as he is. And of course, Moose did use Chris Bay as a ragdoll to do the sidewalk slam onto Willie Mack for a 2 count. And of course, Willie Mack did not 1, but 2 stunners to Moose. And then Moose did the lights out spear as he punched Willie Mack like so hard until Rich actually struck Moose, and then they actually fight roll over until you saw Chris Bay actually took advantage and just pinned the unconscious Willie Mack, and thus they pick up the victory. Your thoughts on the match?
Again, Moose was out to prove a point. This is what pain looks like. He basically controlled the entire dang match, literally using Chris Bay as a weapon, and then at the point didn't care about winning. He just wanted to inflict more pain, send a statement to the champion. Champion had none of it. Attacked him, and basically Bay picked up the broken piece of the match, the legal man, which was Mac. All it did was just, once again, it boosted Moose's point that he's trying to prove to himself and deliver to everybody else, but it gives momentum also to Rich Swann's challenger. Interesting match, but jeez, Moose, brutal.
Yeah, like what the hell? I hope we're not going to be seeing any more interference when it comes to Final Resolution, I know Moose is going to be watching that main event match, like if it's going to be Rich Swann to retain or Chris Bay to be the new champion.
Yes.
Either one. But yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to, of course, before the interview. So yeah, Rich Swann was trying to go to the parking lot, but he got blocked by a security guard that he needs to be on the list. And he's not on the list, even though he's the Impact World Champion. Josh Matthews came by, and he's on the list because he's the one to conduct the interview. So, yeah, it was funny enough. I thought we were going to be seeing a face-off with Kenny Omega and Rich Swann. Maybe. I don't know.
These are things to come, maybe.
Exactly. And now, the meat and potato of it all, the interview. That's right. Josh Matthews entered the tour bus. Here comes Don Callis. And the official, welcome back to the cleaner himself, Kenny Omega. That's right. So, I really like the fact that it was a really good, cohesive interview. especially the fact that prior to what Don Callis did, they actually did a ceremonial name plating change where they changed out John Moxley's name to Kenny Omega's name on the AEW World title belt. And of course, of course, Kenny said, like, here, give it, here, you're close friends to the Ambrose. To Josh Matthews. It was a kind of like a nice jab to it. And so Josh Matthews did ask about like why is Kenny Omega there, and so Don Callis actually give like kind of like a brief history of who Kenny Omega is and how long he knows him. He actually knows Kenny Omega's uncle, which is Golden Sheik, which is impressive. And of course, like he said, he is gonna be setting a course in history and whatnot, and so it was a pretty conduct interview in the making, and Kenny Omega said he felt good to be his own self again, and also, being the cleaner, which I'm glad that, like, the fact that, like, people are now in here in the Western audience get to introduce who is Kenny Omega, the New Japan version of Kenny Omega. I feel it was a pretty well-conducted interview, and they say they were supposed to be making the announcement again on AEW Dynamite. So I feel with this interview itself, it's kind of like a good introduction of who Kenny Omega is. He actually set the goal himself, especially when he hinted a teaser for challenging an Impact World title, because he said he loved to collect comics, but he wanted to collect something more, of course, title belts. So it's kind of like a nice hint to it. And so at the end, that's where Don Callis told Josh Matthews, go back to Stanford, kid. Yeah. So that is pretty much it. Your thoughts, Noah?
Absolutely freaking love this promo. Love this whole manager-talent dynamic when it comes to Don Callis being like a father-type figure to Kenny Omega, the same way the Golden Sheik was basically to him. Thinking about how he's been through this entire pace of the wrestling industry. Thinking about how he'd been through the Montreal Screwjob, maybe people compare what happened last week on Dynamite to this. But how he says, some people create moments and lasting memories. Like Kenny Omega, he creates history. And then Omega, he goes straight up cleaner, takes the glasses off, and goes straight into that schizophrenic type way, and basically compares what he's doing now with championships to what he used to do with comic books, and basically goes on a tirade about, I could own the wrestling industry, because this is what it allows me to do. I can travel around. I like traveling. Classic Kenny Omega, ended with his catchphrase, loved it, and Josh Matthews, well, we all know how we feel about Josh Matthews, but even that was a little harsh. Tough Enough Season 1 recall. Damn.
I know, right? And I think it's like a way that like everybody gets to know like who he is, especially with Don Callis too, because he's still the executive vice president of Impact Wrestling, and then we'll be seeing him a lot on AEW Dynamite. Real quick, we'll talk about AEW Dynamite, their speech real quick before we get our grade. So Kenny and Don Callis made the appearance on AEW Dynamite. Unfortunately, same summarized interview from Impact Wrestling. That's all I can say. But it's like they're probably going to be putting a little bit more of a teaser from weeks come, maybe towards, the next AEW pay-per-view, Revolution, or maybe Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill. Either one.
Possibly?
Yeah, possibly. But overall, I feel that this is like a good start for the company, especially the fact about Kenny Omega, making an appearance. I think it's like a way to help the ratings for Impact Wrestling going higher, since, Impact Wrestling has been struggling throughout the years, like, having like their reputation and whatnot, and this is like their best rating they ever had.
It was.
Yeah, best rating since the Go Home after Slammiversary, So I feel that we will be seeing more to come regarding with this whole partnership thing. I don't think this is like it not just yet. It's like slowly but surely. And it's looked like this is like going back to like, back in the day with the whole territorial days. So I think this is going to be bound to happen, Noah, but who knows? What are your overall thoughts?
Only time will tell. And again, Kenny Omega, he keeps teasing more and more to come. We're not ready to quite tell you that. Each night, though, he's ending as classic cleaner. Heck, he went out of the freaking heel tunnel this week on Dynamite as we literally recorded that Dynamite. So I'm just looking forward to what's next for Impact, AEW, what's next for the wrestling industry in general.
Exactly, and especially up to 2021.
Exactly.
Exactly. So, all right, y'all. So, with that being said, we're gonna give our thumbs up, thumbs out. Again, I apologize for not doing it on a video format. This is gonna be on audio because I know it's gonna be a lot of content that's going on. I know Philip and Brandon are gonna be doing their recaps for Raw, SmackDown, AEW, which they're definitely gonna go more in depth about AEW and the whole Kenny Omega, Don Callis. Stay tuned for their episode, which are having a video format. However, the video format will be on episode 20, I promise you, but for now, for episode 19, will be just audio. So for my thumbs up, thumbs down, this is a really high praise match. I really enjoy it. Especially promos and storyline that's still in development, especially the Knockouts Tag Team Tournament. There was no straight up storyline for like either or, like, regarding Ty, Rosemary, and Bravo, and then Kimberly and Deonna Purrazzo's and then Father James Mitchell's situation. And also, I would say my favorite match would be Eric Young versus Cody Deaner, because this is how serious Cody Deaner is as a competitor. I'm giving it a 1.5 thumbs up. Yours?
Again, I really enjoyed the Knockouts match. It was clean and to the point, and a lot of stuff didn't mix with it. A lot of the matches led towards what we're finally going to see as Final Resolution was getting built. Good go home towards the World Championship match. The Kenny Omega stuff, great bonus, great publicity for Impact and AEW. 1.5 for me as well.
Alrighty. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and segue into, of course, the Impact Plus exclusive Impact Wrestling Final Resolution. This is their last special of 2020, y'all. So anyway, here are the matches has been confirmed according to Impact Wrestling. 9 matches right here. So you have to kick things off, you have Hernandez versus Fallah Bahh, and you'll have, of course, Kiera Hogan being the special guest referee, and Tasha Steele being the special guest re-announcer. Oh my god, I'm dead. So pretty much it's like the storyline from last week about the whole Watercast situation. Okay, for my pick, I'm actually going to go with Fallah Bahh, and then he's definitely going to get his own Watercast back. Who'd your pick, Noah?
Okay, look, Tasha Steele, Kiera Hogan, they're there for one thing. That's the damn money. This thing's going to break down easily, but they got an easier chance of getting the money off Bahh, raising his hand victory versus Hernandez. I'm going with you. I'm going with Bahh.
All right. I hope Tasha Steele be like, and his opponent, oh my god, how many times she's going to say, oh, thanks, Cardi B.
More than Josh Matthews said AEW World Championship and Kenny Omega.
Exactly. Alrighty. Anyway, so next up you have is a intergender tag team match. You have the Edwards, Alicia and Eddie Edwards versus Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with the Kid. Kay. Your picks, Noah?
I gotta go with the newly founded husband and wife couple. I don't see Sammy getting involved here. And why does Caleb with the K need to get a victory with Tennille when Caleb with the K? It could be the one to eat the fall, and then they could just talk about and just take pictures. I'm going with Eddie Edwards and Alicia.
I'm going the same thing as well. However, Sami Callihan did post a tweet that he'll be watching the match as well. And plus, this is going to be Caleb with the K's first full match since his return to Impact Wrestling, even though he did wrestle a bit at the Bound for Glory Call Your Shot Gauntlets match, but just briefly before he got quote unquote eliminated by Havoc. So it's gonna be great seeing Kayla with K in action too for it. So yeah, but we'll see what's going to happen for it. I sense Sami Callihan's gonna make the appearance after the match, but yeah. Anyway, y'all. So next up, you have the Impact Knockouts Championship match, which you have is Deonna Purrazzo with Kimberly, the current champ, versus Rosemary with Taya Valkyrie. This is kind of like a match they put out together, thrown in together from Scott D'Amore. I'm going with Deonna to retain the title because, Rosemary and Taya did defeat Deonna and Kimberly at the round 1 of the Knockouts Tag Team Tournament. It's just much more fitting with Deonna, retaining her title against Rosemary. Your thoughts? Your picks?
I sense entertainment, but I sense an interesting angle afterwards with one Father's Jane Mitchell making his presence known. But Deonna has to retain here, in my opinion.
Exactly.
That's enough.
Exactly. Anyway, you have the old school rules match, Tommy Dreamer versus Larry D. So if Tommy Dreamer wins, Larry D goes to jail for almost trying to kill Johnny Bravo. But if Larry D wins, he walk as a free man. I'm going with Tommy Dreamer on this. And we'll see Larry D like being in jail. Again, there's gonna be like a whole like Russell House debacle continuing feud, whatever. Your picks, Noah.
This is the storyline for Triple XL until we have a definitive, and I gotta go with Tommy Dreamer as well. Old school rules. It's Tommy Dreamer. Period.
Alrighty, cool. Anyway, next up you have is the team of Havoc and Noya versus Sea Stars, Ashley Vox and Delmi XO. Your picks, Noah?
I love the Sea Stars. This literal connection of sisters, but then you have these two that are kind of like sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I feel like Jessica, Havoc, and Nevaeh, they need the win heading into their semifinals match. It's momentum-wise. I got to go with them.
I definitely gonna agree with you as well. I thought I'm gonna pick the Sea Star, but I was like, wait a minute, are they in Impact Wrestling like full-time contract? Probably not. Who knows? But with Havoc and Noya, they actually did win the Knockouts Tag Team tournament for round 1, and they're going to be facing against Jordan Grace and Jazz.
Right.
So it's better that Havoc and Nevaeh need to get the W against Sea Star. But yeah. Anyway, you have is the Defeat Rohit challenge for the X Division. Rohit Raju versus a mystery opponent. Now I can think of one person. And I feel that he needs to make his... Actually, I feel that TJP is actually going to bring someone from the Super J Cup. I'm going with Leo Rush. We haven't seen Leo Rush in Impact Wrestling. Your pick, Noah.
If it's Leo Rush, it's a guaranteed title change. Bottom line, but I also said, again, he's gone for the entire division. Time for a change ahead of Hard to Kill. Rohit challenge, whatever the hell you call it. New champion.
Yeah, I'm going with new champion, Leo Rush, because and also a fun fact too, Leo Rush is on a reality show called The Challenge on MTV. So having him go to Impact Wrestling, make his debut, maybe getting signed and be the X Division champion, it's definitely going to bring in more publicity for him, especially having Impact Wrestling being helped to boost some ratings, especially for people that are watching MTV to just watch Impact Wrestling and see him in action. So I think that'll make it more sense too. You have the whole Kenny Omega Dog House situation, which helped the ratings a lot. Why not have Leo Rush made his debut and then be the X Division champion? That's going to bring in more ratings too.
Yeah.
So that would make more sense. Alrighty. Then you have is Ethan Page with Josh Alexander versus Carl Anderson. If Page wins, the North will earn a future Impact World Championship match. Noah, who do you pick?
This is hard for me considering the size of the tag team division and the focus right now. But again, you see the North on the verge of bringing up. Do you see it come from this match? Or do you see it come from potentially their last chance at the titles? I'm going to say it's last chance for the titles. Maybe at Hard to Kill. I'm sensing Ethan Page is going to pull out the win somehow. I'm going with Ethan Page.
I'm going to have to disagree. I'm going with Carl Anderson on this because I feel this is going to be the end of the North as a tag team together. Especially there has been high of attention too. And I feel there is a tag team opportunity for, the Good Brothers too. So, the Good Brothers against Motor City Machine Guns, the Good Brothers versus the Deaners maybe because, different guys. Or even against Eric Young and Joe Dury. Let's not forget about that.
Oh.
Yeah. Good Brother versus EY.
I didn't think about that duo at all because I didn't think they would do a Battle of the Guns this soon. That's why I was like, okay, wait, you finish up the North. All right.
Yeah.
This is the one time it happens once in a while, but it's the one time I will actually agree with you.
Yeah.
Good for the win. I can see Luke coming back too.
Exactly. Yeah, and then we'll see a breakup. So that's why I'm going with Carl Anderson. Alrighty.
Fair enough.
Exactly. And your main event match, Rich Swann versus Chris Bay for the Impact World title. It is going to be a pretty interesting match, especially this is Chris Bay's busy weekend, since of course Final Resolution takes place on Saturday, December 12th, same day as the Super J Cup. I don't think he's not going to win, so I'm going with Rich Swann to retain a title. What about you, Noah?
They teased it. If it happens, oh my gosh, industry breaking. I'm waiting for Kenny Omega to confront the Impact World Champion.
Oh my god.
Rich Swann's retaining.
Definitely. Anything can go and what's going on with Final Resolution. So yeah, you guys. So Final Resolution exclusively on Impact Plus. It will air on Sunday. I mean, not Sunday, Saturday. It's because of the Super J Cup. Saturday, December 12th, only on Impact Plus. Same day as New Japan Pro Wrestling Super J Cup. However, we'll be doing the results and recap on episode 21 of Into the Stratusphere. I just want to give you guys a heads up because episode 20 will be mainly New Japan Pro Wrestling World Tag League and Best of Super Junior finals, as well as the Super J Cup. With that being said, that is it for the episode of Into the Stratusphere, y'all. I know we're not in a video format, but I know you can hear our voices, y'all. So comment down below who are your picks, which shows are you looking forward to, and all that, if you're subscribed to the Bulletcast's YouTube channel. Anyway, Noah, where they can find you.
Pleasure as always. If you want to know more about me, I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan. ...
Wrestling!
Damn right, wrestling, not just entertainment, but I do follow that too. Look me up on Twitter at Foster1916, YouTube, youtube.com/C/No+10 for all things wrestling. Content coming up on NJPW and AEW with my series AEW Spark. Who knows, this lovely indie darling right here might make an appearance. You never know who I might be talking with, or I just might be talking to myself. But anyway, you also can follow me on Instagram at Foster1916 for just a hello, positive music and reinforcement into your life. And as always, support for wrestlers, the Harvard Force for us fans. Support NoDQ, support my friends on our podcast, The Sauce. Let's keep growing this wrestling community together, and I'll see y'all down the road. Till next time, take it easy and be safe. Simple as that.
Alrighty, Noah. Well, y'all, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram and on my hiatus YouTube channel at simply_C_OK. That's SIMPLY_C_OK. And make sure to follow the Bulletcast on all social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at the Bulletcast. And also make sure to follow all of our podcasting platform, Stitcher, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcast, Patreon, at the Bulletcast, y'all. And again, it's going to be a jam-packed episode, so stay tuned for updates and all that. So anyway, y'all, to close it off, please remember to wash your hands 20 to 30 seconds, practice social distancing, wear your face mask and or face covering at all time. And if you're in the state of California, please stay home because we're now in a lockdown again, y'all. And remember, you guys, to please be kind to one another. We're all in this together. Till then, I'll see you in episode 20 of Into the Stratusphere. Cheers, y'all.
Have a good night, folks. This is not water, but it's also not alcohol.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.